Welcome to Gamer Athletes, coming to you from the End of the World Tattoo and Cigar Bar Studio in Northwest Indiana, the Mount Everest of gaming excellence, delivering all the gaming news and info that you as athletes deserve.
This is Gamer Athletes. I'm your host, Chris Carr. Dan Martinez is not in studio today. He has had other prior engagements to take care of this week, so he'll be back. He should be back in studio next week. All right, remember to follow us on Instagram, gamer.athletes, Twitter, Gamer Athletes PC, and YouTube, Gamer Athletes Podcast. Remember to leave your 5-star reviews, and we will read them live on the air. But so I'm going to give you some of the news stories from the last week, some of the ins and outs, because there were some big news stories that dropped this last week. I'll give you some of my opinions, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to go over some of the warm-ups for this week, some of the quick stories that I found. In Paris, you can play PS5s in the airport. They have airport kiosks in the airport. Paris is doing it right over there. Make sure that that wait or those delayed planes, it's not as bad. You can go get a little drinky there and play some PlayStation, and it's like you never left home. Let's see. This is coming from Kotaku. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, Xbox controller smells like actual pizza. That just make me hungry. I was eating this. Let's see. No, it's an Xbox. It's not delivery. No, it's an Xbox X and S controller designed in a lab to smell like pizza. I wonder if that rubs off on your hands. So as you're playing, you go to rub your nose and you just smell like pizza. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, August 2023 release. Microsoft is giving away a certain number of TMNT-themed slice-infused controllers designed to deliver the smells of the Turtles' beloved meal to your game. I just got to add here while I'm going through the story. The exclusive Xbox wireless controller comes built-in with a built-in scent diffuser. What is this thing attached to the controller? Looks like it may attach to the controller. And it just emits the smell of pizza. This is a tweet from Xbox Game Pass. The pizza party never stops with these guys. Follow Xbox Game Pass and retweet this post. So you have to retweet the post to get with the hashtag Xbox TMNT Movie Sweepstakes for a chance to win the TMNT-inspired controllers. Be sure to see at the TMNT movies in theaters 8-23 in the U.S. So this only applies to people that are ages 18 and older. Go to the official Xbox Game Pass Twitter account for your ability to enter. That is, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to enter to win, or I would even buy a controller that smells like pizza. I guess it'd be cool if you're a collector and you have it just like, there's a conversation piece, but I'm not going to get that, or I'm not going to enter in that. I don't think I'd actually buy something like that. Let's get into the news. This is a big story because Diablo 4 released their patch 1.1 and nerfed a whole ton of shit. And it made I had a rogue that was in the 80s, made my rogue feel a lot weaker. The mobs were doing more damage. I was outputting less damage. And rogue is one of the stronger classes in the game. So they put this update out. And then following the update, the masses took to Metacritic and just bombed the shit out of this, and rightfully so. They even Blizzard, the boys over there at Blizzard, Blizzard put out a emergency fireside chat that was this last Friday, which I watched. They put out they did not look happy either. So they addressed a lot of the criticisms, saying that they nerfed all this stuff for the long-term health of the game. So, just got a phone call there. And it was like an hour-long fireside chat, and I've seen a lot of people's opinions on it, and a lot of the things that they said in there didn't make any fucking sense to me. They went out there and they said, well, we want you to be able to level faster, but then they also nerfed the experience points that you gain in there. Like, it used to be at 3 levels higher than your current level, you would get a 25% experience points boost. They nerfed that back to 15. At 1 level above, I think you used to get 10 experience point boost. At 1 level above, if you're fighting mobs 1 level above, you get a 10%. That got buffed down to like 1% or 3%, something like that. My numbers might be a little bit off. And then, so they went out, they nerfed that. They nerfed your experience points boost. One of the weird things they did, so you had a quick escape from dungeons that took 3 seconds. They changed that to 5 seconds. So after you're done killing everything or whatever, you wanted to leave the dungeon you were in because there's no point in being in there anymore. You use your hotkey on your emote bar hotkey to leave the dungeon. Well, they changed it to 5 seconds. It was unbelievable, some of the stuff that they did. And then they went and they had this fireside chat where they used a bunch of word salad bullshit to try to convince everybody that this was a good thing. Meanwhile, everybody playing the game that was having a shit ton of fun in that game. I had a lot of fun in the game, and my experience now got worse. I was getting through dungeons. I would die here and there, but now I was dying a whole lot more, and it just didn't make a lot of sense. So a lot of people went out to Metacritic, and like, you could in real time almost watch this score drop throughout the day after the release of the 1.1 patch. So I think when I first started seeing this pop up on my Twitter feed and Instagram and that, the score was sitting at like a 3.8. And now it's at a 2.2 currently on the Metacritic score. So that doesn't look good for what they decided to do with this game. And I was a big fan of this game as of right now, and I played a little bit through season 1. So far, I now have a necromancer that's like level 40. But as of today, which today is Tuesday, Remnant 2 is coming out, and I'll probably be jumping onto that game. I want to run through that. I had a load of fun with Remnant from the Ashes, which is the first game. But even I tweeted out from the Gamer Athletes account that, so they whoever put out a tweet that said, let's see, yeah, it said, this is 6 days ago. It says the Diablo 3.5 memes are coming soon. And then I posted right underneath that, I said that, and the score that they posted was 3.8. He said that 3.8 didn't last long, and I posted another screenshot of it at 2.7. So, hopefully they can do something. Cyberpunk was another game that came out and had a bad Metacritic score, and it took them 2 years to dig out of that hole. And finally, Cyberpunk actually now has a positive rating. So hopefully, I'm hoping that the people over there at Blizzard learn from this mistake and don't ever drop a patch like this that just nerfs the dog shit out of everything. I mean, they nerfed everything, as well as increasing creature their attacks so they do more damage. And it was just, it took a game that was fun, but you had to put a lot of time into, and it made it harder to achieve those levels. And there's always going to be someone out there who makes your perfect meta build that can still output a shit ton of damage. But for a casual gamer, and I'm more on the casual side of gaming, it's like I don't have the time after going to work, coming home and slogging through and trying to figure out the best meta builds or watching a ton of I don't want to watch a ton of YouTube videos. I want it to be something that I can actually kind of jump into. And Diablo, it is an ARPG that there's a little bit more math involved, and you have to get into the numbers and things like that and actually sit down and break it down. But this just that's not exactly something that I want to do. I want to be able to get in there, play the game, try a few things that work, maybe run the numbers in my head and find something that's good enough to get through the game. I don't want to spend my entire time min-maxing every little fucking thing just to play the game. So, and that's what they did. They made it harder. I used to be able to jump in and gain a level in about an hour, spamming like 4 nightmare dungeons. And then after that patch, it would probably take me 3 hours to achieve 1 level then. So that's the Diablo 4 Metacritic score. Another company that it had a bad look this week is Ubisoft, who shut down a bunch of accounts because they hadn't had like interaction with the accounts. So a lot of people were getting emails that said if they didn't log in the next 30 days, their account would be completely shut down and they would lose all the access to the content that they had already purchased, which is not good. It'd be like you go to Walmart and you buy a vacuum cleaner, and then you haven't been to Walmart in 2 fucking years, and then Walmart sends you an email that says, hey, if you don't come back and check in with us, we're going to come and repossess your vacuum cleaner, and you'll lose the ability to use that. So this is actually, this is funny. This is from TopGear.com put out this news story. I mean, they're not the only ones that covered it. The Gamer covered it. Kotaku covered it. This is just the article that I pulled up, but it says time to log in to your Ubisoft launcher. And this is only for like PC players, really, because a lot of companies have their own launcher to play their own games. Ubisoft has theirs. Blizzard has their launcher. Epic Game Store has theirs. Steam is actually a good compilation, which I'm not sure if it's due to the Activision Blizzard takeover, but Call of Duty is now coming to the Steam store, which is good for everybody. But it says time to log into your Ubisoft launcher if you haven't in a while. Ubisoft is suspending inactive accounts and removing access to a game library associated with them now, and that's ridiculous. Like, who cares if you've logged in the last... If you bought that content, then that should be yours. It says users who are deemed inactive by the publisher are receiving emails to ask them to log in back into their accounts within 30 days to confirm that they're still active. At first glance, it's just a fiscally generous... What is it? At first glance, it's just a fiscally generated prints away from a classic email scam territory. But Ubisoft has confirmed, so they're saying that this looks like an email scam. Try to get you to log in somewhere and steal your identity. But Ubisoft has confirmed that the emails are legitimate. Oh, a fiscally generous prince. Okay. This article has bad punctuation. On top of that, I'm a bad reader. So at that, users who miss 30-day deadline can raise a ticket with their support team to reactivate their account. So it says this is likely happening associated with the publisher may be required to close accounts if the data associated with them is no longer required for collection. This is only if we have strong reason to believe that the accounts in questions will remain unused. But how do they know that? What if you're just haven't logged into your account because you've been, I don't know, maybe you're in the military and you've been deployed. Maybe you just had a kid. Sure, your first kid, you just don't have the same amount of time to play video games that you used to because you're busy taking care of a kid. Maybe you have a mother who's sick or in the hospital or a family member, and you don't have quite to have that time. So that means you should lose your access to the content that you purchased because Ubisoft deems that you will remain inactive. We may also close long-term inactive accounts to maintain our database. You'll be notified by email if we begin the process of closing your inactive account. So if it's in your spam email, which I think they do, Ubisoft put out a thing that said, yeah, you should probably check your spam if this ends up in there. But according to the Ubisoft terms of service, technically, if your account is suspended and disabled, you may not be able to create a new account without the publisher's express permission. So if you'd rather not wait through the legal documents and support tickets in order to regain access to your to the Bugatti Divo edition of the Magma paint job of the Crew 2, it's probably worth logging into Ubisoft. So if you don't want to lose your Assassin's Creed game that you spent money on, you might want to log into your Ubisoft account. So that's not a good look from Ubisoft. So the Ubisoft just goes down as a list of one of the worst video game publishers that is out there. I mean, there's not much more that can be said about that or on Ubisoft. I haven't really enjoyed an Ubisoft game in many years. I did play, Watch Dogs. I played a lot of Assassin's Creed game, and I just really haven't enjoyed them. They're kind of a slog with all their digital chores that you got to do, and just... It's not that same feeling I got when I first jumped into the Animus and sat behind the eyes of who was the first one? Altair. And really had a good time with Ubisoft. I was like, this is just next level good. And they really were. The original Assassin's Creed were next level. They were top shelf, like S tier level games. And it just, they haven't had the same magic in them for a long, long time. So going on Mortal Kombat 1, getting superheroes. So go through this article here. This is from Polygon. Here's a first look at Homelander, Peacemaker, and Mortal Kombat 1. So this is something that a lot of games are now doing, you know, when they have their... you can buy their skins for the game or whatever, so they add these guys in there or whatever, and hopefully they have their own movesets. And Mortal Kombat has done this with a lot of their games. Mortal Kombat, what was it, 11 had Jason in it and Leatherface and a lot of other different horror movie characters. I don't remember if Freddy Krueger was in there. I don't remember. But NetherRealm Studio finally made it official on Friday that Homelander from The Boys, Peacemaker, which was played by John Cena from the DC Universe, and Omni-Man from Invincibles will appear as guest characters in Mortal Kombat 1. This is the remake, remaster, re-edition of the new Mortal Kombat, the first game. And this will be a part of the game's first Combat Pack DLC. Not sure how much that's going to cost you. It's not going to be free. Those characters will be joined by Mortal Kombat veterans Quan Chi, Ermac, and Takeda. My bad. It's the name of the character. It's not that lovable corn snack that we can get at the supermarkets. The developers of Mortal Kombat 1 revealed a sneak peek at the Combat Pack lineup at the San Diego Comic-Con. Bet you that was a good time. Where other characters were confirmed for the fighting games. Tanya, Lee May, Baraka, Darius, and Kamei. This is like just basically another Mortal Kombat game. Man, the first Mortal Kombat only had like 8 characters that you could choose from. And I think you could unlock Reptile. I don't remember, but yeah, like this is just a new Mortal Kombat game. I'm not sure why they're calling it Mortal Kombat 1 or what the idea behind that is, but they should have just called it the next Mortal Kombat 13 or whatever the fuck they're on now. Homelander will be based on actor Anthony Starr's appearance in The Boys television series, while Peacemaker will be based on John Cena And from the Max series created by James Gunn, actor J.K. Simmons will reprise his role as On-Man just for the voice, because you don't want J.K. Simmons out there telling you about why you need to buy car insurance. He will be voicing the character in Mortal Kombat 1. So it's authentic as it could be. A Mortal Kombat co-creator, Ed Boon, said in an interview. So that's pretty cool. Not one much for the fighting games, but that seems like a fair thing to do, or a fun thing that they could add in there. And this is a story that I just saw today. Speaking of, let's see, this is the new Star Wars game. The new Star Wars Outlaw game will let you work for Jabba the Hutt. Probably means like you'll be able to do some side quests and bounty hunts for Jabba the Hutt, which is cool. And I see a lot of controversy about this game out people. We're crying about how you can't pick between characters, male or female or whatever, in the game, which, I mean, Star Wars had other female characters in the game before. You couldn't pick with the EA game, Jedi Survivor. You were only Cal Kestis, so I think that's much ado about nothing. People need to kind of grow up when it comes to some of this stuff. When, you know, so Star Wars Outlaws, highly anticipated open world game in Star Wars game from Ubisoft. Speaking of Ubisoft, just make sure you log in or you lose the ability to play this game. And it lets players do business with the iconic Lord of Tatooine, Jabba the Hutt. The trailer for Star Wars Outlaw debuted in June 2023. And for the exploration scale and ship combat on display, certainly put forward the idea that the mass entertainment of Ubisoft are working on something special. Unlike the more traditional Star Wars Fallen Order and Survivor that focus on the struggles and the journey of the Jedi, Star Wars Outlaws puts the player in the role of Kay Vess, a smuggler, bounty hunter, and all-around scoundrel. See, I kind of like that. Like, if I can just be a dick in a game, I'm all for being a dick in a game. That, you know, when I played Fable, I played through it, both Fable 1 and 2, I played through twice, so I could be the evil guy and the good guy. It was much harder. Well, not much harder, but it was harder to be the evil guy because everybody run away from you screaming. You always had bounties out for you. You had to go clear up. But eventually you got strong enough, you just wipe out a whole town and say, fuck it. So you could be an all-around scoundrel trying to navigate the galactic underworld. And I wonder how open world this is going to be. We're going to have to wait to see what other stuff they can put out about it. But I wonder how much of an open world this is going to have. She's accompanied by ND5, a former separatist battle droid, and her alien companion, Nyx. There's just too many people in there. Too many. I mean, you had BD. I wonder how they interact with her. That will be interesting to see if they make the characters interact or what happens if they help out in battle or what they do. But droids is like a huge thing in the Star Wars universe, so you're going to have some kind of interaction with droids in there. So it'd be interesting to see how that works out. You know, if it's something like the way they did it in God of War, where you can actually somewhat control your sidekick that's with you. Actually, being able to work for Jabba the Hutt and being kind of a scoundrel in the game, as long as there's not too many cutscenes in this game, I mean, it might be one I might pick up and try. I mean, I do like, and I probably would have played more of Jedi Survivor if I had more time and Diablo didn't come out. And now that I have Remnant 2 that I'm probably going to pick up and play, I will not get back to Jedi Survivor. I'm not sure. But we'll see. So let's see. As it is with the Assassin's Creed game, the concept of visual tourism is important to Ubisoft. And according to director Julian Garretny, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Star Wars Outlaws will offer a player definitive answer on how far the moisture farms are from Mos Eisley, Mos Eisley's famous watering hole. So there's basically saying there's going to be a lot of exploration and a lot of stuff in this game that you can go out and do, and you can basically go on a nice journey and an adventure without leaving your couch. Let's see, Jabba's palace will also be prominent role in the Outlaw. And since the story takes place between episode 5 and 6, players will have a chance to see Han Solo encased in carbonite. Oh, that would be so cool. You go to Jabba's palace and you got Han Solo sitting there making that goofy face that he makes in the game, or in the movie. Let's see. Going further in the story, it is important thing to note is that Star Wars Outlaws will feature a reputation system. That's cool. Which will give the players discounted price, exclusive quests, and even access to new areas if you play your cards right. Considering the power of the Hutt cartels in the Outer Rim during the game of the Galactic Empire, it makes sense that they'd feature the major faction for K to engage with. So that's cool. I do like reputation systems as long as it's I don't know, I've only played a few games with like pretty serious reputation systems in them. I mean, you had Fable, obviously. And it can't, other than like an MMO where your reputation could suffer. I mean, everybody knows if you're a dick on the server to avoid you. So, we'll have to see what happens when this game comes out. It looks fun, or it looks fun so far from the things, and there's any good news that comes out of it. It is made by Ubisoft, so I'm not going to hold my breath on how much just the ridiculous amount of just side quests that mean absolutely nothing to the game that you can do in it. It's one of my complaints that I have greatly about the Assassin's Creed game. It's just, you know, you go to an NPC and they give you a quest and you're like looking, and you get no valuable reward for your time that's invested. And that's an important thing with games, especially with someone who is I'm not a professional gamer, and most of the people that are out there aren't professional gamers. They don't want to feel like their time is wasted in a game. And it goes back to the chess in Zelda games, Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, which is a huge fucking complaint that I had. You solve these puzzles and these things, cool, but then there's a chest always in these dungeons that are just off to the side. And then you're like, all right, I got to figure out how to get up to this. You figure out how to get up to it. You spend 5 minutes maybe trying to figure it out. It's not a lot of time, but then the reward for it is 5 arrows. When you smash a random box somewhere, and you get, well, in Tears of the Kingdom anyway, you get 5 arrows. So the reward for that chest is roughly the same as smashing a random box out there that you run into. So it doesn't, and that's how I feel a lot about Ubisoft games, or some of these games where, and the reward for it is not, you're not rewarded adequately for the time. So it just feels like the game just puts some of these in there just so you spend more time playing the game. And with Ubisoft, hopefully this game doesn't have a whole lot of microtransactions in it, or I believe, I can't remember which Assassin's Creed was in it. And I could be way off base with this one, but I believe one of the Assassin's Creed had it was like microtransaction that would speed up certain things. So instead of collecting this amount of things, you could just buy them and then you'd speed it up. It's not pay to win. It's like pay for convenience in a game. So we'll have to see if this is something that's put in the game, something like that. I said I'm always a harsh critic of these games that are open world just for the sake of being open world and putting additional chores in it that just don't feel rewarding and you don't feel fulfilled when you do them, or and then the reward is some dumb useless shit that maybe you can sell at a vendor for a couple of in-game currencies or whatever. So yeah, or you get like okay, I get a plus 1%, 0.01% reputation in this area because I fucking went and spent an hour collecting crystals for this fucking guy. Give me like a stronger gear or something like that. I don't know. Just make me feel like my time was worth it. So this is another story. All right, we'll get into a little bit of tech news. One story I found today. I just saw it today, so I haven't really gone through it yet. But the ESRB, which is like the game's rating system in the United States, wants to use facial age estimation AI technology, which if anybody's watched TikToks, those things are spot on. They get your age right every single time. So this comes from Forbes magazine, or Forbes online, Forbes.com. Apparently, we have come a long way from when I used to have to ID my kids buying M-rated games. Hey, this guy might have worked at a GameStop when he was a kid. Oh, no, he works as a cashier at Best Buy. The ESRB is now pitching facial... So how you're going to... Are you going to require that people download an FTC app and then register your face with them and your ID, and then when you log in to play a game, you're going to be required to have a camera? Or every time you log into a game, you're going to have to take a picture and get like a third-party verification to do this? I'm not sure how they're going to do this, because an Xbox you don't have to plug a camera into it. You can just buy the thing, and they don't come with a camera. So now to play a game, but the FTC is going to require you to buy a camera to go with your Xbox, or you're just not going to be able to play it, because even though I'm over 18, I'm going to have to be verified every time I go to play a game, because, you have a multiple person household. The FTC is not just going to let you get away with taking your picture one time and saying, hey, I can play this game. And then, you walk away and your 3-year-old son is playing Mortal Kombat. I don't see them doing that. So let's see the ESRB is now pitching to the FTC on a new technology called privacy protected facial age estimation. This would be a tool that what if you don't look? What if you're 18 but you still look like you're younger than that? That would suck. This would be a tool that developers could implement in the individual games alongside other more traditional methods of age verification. You know what? I don't even think, like, if your parents want to let you play a game, I mean, that's just bad parenting or good parenting, depending on how you want to look at it. But why does the FTC need to step in and regulate how I raise my kids? The technology is exactly as insane sounding as you may think it is. This is through the digital ID firm called Yoti and an Epic Games subsidiary. Super awesome. So it's from Yoti and super awesome. Doesn't sound super awesome to me. It sounds super douchey. And has people taking photos of themselves. The system checks if it's a live face in the frame. Then the photo goes to a server where the AI technology deduces how old the person is. And if they could give consent to the purchase. Oh, so you just need to give consent to purchase it. Then after that, you can fucking let anybody play it. So after I purchase Mortal Kombat and verify that I'm over 18, then I can give it to my 3-year-old and let them play. It is not the IDing of a specific person as facial recognition, only an estimate of their age, which AI never gets anything wrong. and they are so permission can be given. I did not even know this if this technology exists at all, but Yodi claims that 99.7% of the time it can detect through the person's face whether the 99.7% of the time it can detect whether the person's face is a minor or not. In ways of cheating the system, i.e., a sibling or a babysitter babysitting trying to buy the game for a minor does not work, as the system considers things like whether, say, an 18-year-old could have a 14-year-old kid. That sentence is like super wonky. Does not work, as the system considers things like whether, say, an 18-year-old could have a 14-year-old kid. The system gives real my privacy protection facial age estimator system is raising a lot of questions about privacy protection already answered by the name. Yeah, right. But Yodi claims the image, which includes those of minors, are deleted and never used even for training purposes. Yeah, right. I believe that. This technology is already in use in some areas outside the United States, probably China. And they want the FTC to approve it for the use in the United States. I say no. I say anything that makes it more of a pain in the ass for me to buy a video game is ridiculous. Anything. It's already like they've come so far in making it easy for me to access my online content. You know, I have, it's so easy for me to buy a game. My credit card information is stored with Xbox. Speaking of that, I think, who is it that's having a lawsuit right now? I think it's Facebook. If you use Facebook between the year 2017 or maybe it's 2012 and 2020, there's actually a class action lawsuit. So go make sure you check that out if you're an active Facebook user, because they leak like a shit ton, like 80 million users' data. So in the Europe and UK, Yodi says the technology works because 35% of its users in the EU and UK get rejected because they are underage. It doesn't say that it works. It just says that 35% of people get rejected. They also claim it's inclusive for people who not have credit cards, passports, driver's license, or social security numbers. The person in the article states this all sounds very dystopian, which I kind of agree with. I mean, I don't kind of agree with it. I agree with it completely. Despite supposedly good intentions, I'm just not sure if kids sneakily buying Call of Duty or GTA 5 is worth using some sort of AI guess my age tech to scan both adults and minors' faces, no matter what privacy protections are supposedly in place. So I'm guessing probably the way this works, the FTC gets its way when you go to purchase a game through your Xbox Game Pass or through the Xbox Store, the PlayStation Store, or Steam, or anywhere else. You're going to get an age verification pop-up notification where you have to click on it. It'll take you to the FTC site where you have to take a live picture with your phone, upload it saying that you're playing the game, and then it'll spit out some user code or whatever. Then you go back into your Xbox, type in the fucking 5-digit number that it gives you, and then you'll be able to proceed with your purchase. Okay. So even though you can't, I don't think you can get a credit card until you're 18. So whether it's just more like government overreach that's like pushing into like how you raise your kids and whatnot, and they're gonna guise it in the fact that they're trying to like be like, oh no, we're trying to protect everybody out there. We're trying to protect people. That's why we got to put parental advisories on everything. That's why everything's got to have a rating on it. That's why it's just exhausting at this point how much fun the government's trying to cut out of our lives. I mean, that was a lot of fun when you were a kid, you know, finding the porno that you weren't supposed to have and flipping through that son of a bitch, you know. And they're trying to make it so you can't even do this kind of. But how? I mean, that brings up a good point that I just made to myself. How come there isn't there's no age verification for Pornhub or for any of the porn websites that are out there? I don't even know. There's no age verification for TikTok, and that's arguably a way more toxic environment than Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, you have loads of kids developing like mental issues and body dysmorphia issues or whatever from being on TikTok, and that just. I mean, this just seems like a government always overreaches in the wrong direction. You know, the government never overreaches into the streets and fixes the potholes that I drive over. Like this isn't even something that affects my life, or I would say 99% of the people out there, this is not going to even affect their life. So there's no point in putting this out there. So why would they do it? Why are they continuing to ignore all the flat tires out there that are created by potholes or the crumbling infrastructure? Or lead in pipes in other places, in cities like Flint, Michigan. But they need to overreach into whether I am over the age to buy a video game. And I have to take my picture or whatever and see if it's a live picture and then give them there, which is going to give them my location information. It's going to give them what I'm buying and all that information. Maybe after they put that all together, they compile whether I'm a right-wing, right supremacist or whatever the fuck they want to do in the government. But I don't know. That's just one guy's thought. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're just doing this to protect everybody. So that's really all I got for this week. I will be, like I said, I will be putting out another episode. I'm going to compile all the fuckery segments that we have, or maybe just a handful of them, and then putting them out there so that it'll be like kind of a bonus episode. So you can pick that up and make you laugh with us a little bit. But remember, follow us on Instagram, gamer.athletes, Twitter, GamerAthletesPC, YouTube, Gamer Athletes Podcast. And thanks everyone for listening. This has been another episode of Gamer Athletes. We'll see y'all next time.